And welcome to Nights Around the Fire. We're back. We're back with Sue Taylor.
Hi, guys.
And we are going to be having a great program tonight. We're back on
Bigfoot.
And I want you to know that Nights Around the Fire is your number one place for paranormal, for Bigfoot, for UFOs, because we are Canonsburg's number one paranormal podcast. That's what we are. So we appreciate you joining us. Okay, Sue, I think we're moving east, aren't we?
We are. We're moving out into the middle of the state today. We're going to talk about Clearfield County and Elk County. And this is just a little bit below the Allegheny National Forest where we were talking about the last time.
Okay, so folks, if you're not familiar with Pennsylvania, we're in this almost a central part of Pennsylvania.
We're about 54 minutes from State College, so about an hour from State College and the Penn State main campus.
Yeah, so these are all in almost the same area from last time we talked to you. I mean, there's distances apart, but it's all part of that rural mid-state desolate zone where nobody really lives.
Yeah, and as we talk about these two counties, you are going to find out just how rural this area is.
Right. Maybe I don't want to live in a place that rural.
I wouldn't mind vacationing in a place that rural, but I don't think I would have lived there.
No.
Speaking as a person who has family that lives in that area and has visited family in that area for many years, it's not for me.
So, friends who are watching, if one day we have a new podcast host, we might find out that Sue went to visit her family in central Pennsylvania and got abducted by Bigfoot.
It could absolutely happen in this area of Pennsylvania.
They'd never find you there.
No, they absolutely would not find you there.
You know,
No
if you miss Sue, you can maybe send us a comment, say we don't want to lose Sue. So keep in touch with her, please. Okay, so let's get to the nitty gritty, Sue. What's going on in this area?
So let's start out with our friends in Clearfield County, which Clearfield County was founded in 1804. And they got extremely creative when they named this county.
Deerfield.
They looked at all of the fields that didn't have anything in them, and they went, clear fields.
Wow. These people were right on top of it.
They were. I mean, there's nothing wrong with stating the obvious, but
yeah.
They really hit the nail on the head.
That's why no one else has moved there. Anyway,
right.
Okay, so Clearfield County.
Clearfield County, and there are still a lot of very clear fields out there because this is, as we said, an incredibly rural area. We are talking about 2.5 miles to Pittsburgh, and if
2.5
or 2.5 hours to Pittsburgh, not 2.5 miles to Pittsburgh. So up on the screen right now, we've got a nice little Google map showing from Canonsburg out to this area in Clearfield. From this area, you are about 54 minutes to State College, which is one of the main areas you can go to if you live out here to do shopping. 1 hour to Altoona, also another valid option if you need to get into civilization. You're about 2 hours to Harrisburg.
Well, we'll avoid that.
Yeah, no real need to go to Harrisburg. And the only major city in Clearfield County is DuBois, which I am not pronouncing that incorrectly. We here in Western Pennsylvania like to pronounce all the letters in the word. So I know it looks like Dubois, and I know that's how you want to pronounce it, but it's actually DuBois.
Yes.
I can't explain it either.
And for your information, if you hear us speaking, our dialect is Pittsburghese, okay? You can pick us out of a lineup anywhere. Matter of fact, I was in Northern California, and a guy came up, he says, "You must be from the Pittsburgh area." I said, "How did you guess?" He said, "Well, I could tell it from your dialect." So we have a dialect here, Yuns guys.
We really want to thank all Yuns guys for watching this here podcast.
Yes, we do.
All right.
Okay, so what's next on this?
So the county seat of Clearfield County is the actual town of Clearfield, which there actually is a town of Clearfield.
So they just named the county and the main city Clearfield.
We can't really say anything as we sit here in Washington County with Washington
right
up the road.
Yeah, but at least it's named after a historic figure.
Yeah, I mean, why give the town a name when you've got a perfectly good description right in front of you?
Right. It's clear.
It's clear. So the two biggest industries in this area were lumber and coal. upon founding of the area.
Of course they were.
They were. And today, coal mining is the biggest industry in this area. And I talked to you about what the industry is in this area because we are not talking about an area that has subdivisions with $500,000 houses and HOAs and all of this stuff. We are talking about an old lumber and an old coal mining area where there are still a lot of hunting cabins. People like to go up there and hunt and fish. My family that lives up there, they worked for the Quihana boot camp that is also located in this area. So fun fact.
If I may ask, what is that?
It is a minimum security prison for first-time offenders.
Only in Clearfield County,
Only in
folks.
Clearfield County, but it's a main. A lot of people work there, and they live in that area. So we're not talking about. There's not a lot of like office parks. There's not like a South Point or any other big office district to go to. Like, we're not even talking about like a mall area that you can, they've got a lot of retail workers in this area or anything. We are talking about if you live in this area and you want to work for a bigger corporation, you're either going to have to be prepared to commute to Pittsburgh, you're going to have to work remote, or you're going to have to drive to State College or Altoona.
Well, having been to State College, there's quite a bit there now.
There is, yeah.
There is, but it's a drive.
It is a drive, and I have a friend who lives in State College, works in State College, and her kids go to school in State College. So there are people that live in that area, but you want to go to the mall, even from State College. If you want to go to a good one, you got to drive a little bit.
Wow. Okay. So we've kind of recognized that this is probably not a high or upper middle class area. It's probably very middle class.
It's probably very middle class, very basic, like country folks. Like,
they're driving Chevys.
Yeah. We're not talking Tesla.
Yeah.
BMW kind of area.
Ferrari, we actually see them here, which kind of, yeah. Anyway, so this is a rural area.
It is. So when I go to visit my sister, I will usually stay at one of the hotels off of the Clearfield exit. So you get off of I-80, there's right there where the Clearfield exit is, and one of my friends can fact check me. I believe Clearfield is one of the only places that a Eaton Park closed. It's a local chain in our area, but they actually could not sustain business in that area.
That's saying something.
That is saying something. So like if when my niece was in school and they wanted to go out after a musical or something, they'd end up at the truck stop.
Think about that,
That's
friends.
the type of area. And I will say driving from my sister's house to the hotel at night, oh boy, you're just waiting for Bigfoot to step out of those woods at you, folks.
Or a Wendigo.
It could be both of them. They could be on their way to the truck stop.
Right. They have to have their coffee too. Okay, so we got a good picture painted here, Sue.
So let's talk about how many people actually live in this area, because it's actually a pretty big population.
How many?
80,562 people live here.
In Clearfield County.
Clearfield County. And 61.3% live in rural areas.
Well, it's quite a bit.
Yeah. I have no idea where the other 31% of the population lives. I'm not sure where the populated areas are in this area to live.
This is a mystery.
Yes. Clearfield County is also home to the largest wild area in Pennsylvania. It is the Quihana Wild Area.
It's kind of odd to say that, don't you think? The Quihana Wild Area. So what does that mean?
It's a
wild area.
Yeah, like a big forest, game area.
Well, then
deal.
Every place with a forest would be a wild area, wouldn't it?
You would think. They're
really, really innovative out there in Susquehanna County.
They got very creative in
Clearfield County.
In Clearfield County. So while we're talking about our two locations, but talked about Clearfield County. So if you can flip over to the next map, we've got a nice little map on the screen for you. This is from the PBS, and this shows our Bigfoot sightings in this area. So
quite a few.
We got a few, and if you look up there close to Benazet, we've got some yellows, which indicate recent sightings.
Wow.
So let's talk a little bit about Elk County before we get into it, because Elk County is the other county we're going to talk about. Elk County's got a population of 30,990.
Much smaller.
Much smaller. 55% of people live in rural areas. And there is only one city here. It is the city of St. Mary that houses 13,000 people.
Okay, so where do the rest live?
In the woods. In the trees.
Now, I gotta ask this, because I know many of you are wanting me, saying, David, please ask this. Elk County. Because they looked in the field and saw an elk?
Actually, I cannot confirm, but yes, I believe so, because this is where, we're going to talk about it in just a second, this is where the elk forest is. There is a big elk viewing area here. There's a big Elk County Visitor Center here. You can see all of the elk you want here in Elk County.
Wow, so
they pretty much run the county.
Elk-based county.
Yeah, I think the commissioner might actually be an elk.
I know there's probably a secret club.
Yeah.
With a secret handshake.
Yeah. So we're going to talk about the thriving metropolis of Benezet here in a little bit, but that's just the facts and background on these two counties.
Okay.
Okay. So let's go back and look at our map from the Bigfoot PBS. Not two. Okay. So with the Bigfoot Research Organization, there are 5 Class A sightings since 1921 and 1 Class B. Now, it surprised me how few were actually out here. Because, again, if you go on YouTube, you can find a lot of Bigfoot sightings in this area. And like we can see on this map, there's a lot of red, a lot of yellow in this area that shows we've got sightings. So I think people just aren't reporting these sightings the way that we think they are.
Okay, yeah, I understand. People intend to just, maybe to them it's just an everyday occurrence.
Yeah, I think it's just one of those things that's a conversation piece, and I'll get into that in a little bit in a second, so I won't save all of the fun for right then. But let's talk about this Clearfield County sighting from 1993. And this one was just a Class B because all they heard was vocalizations and branches breaking.
Right, okay.
So, okay, sounds not a clear subject. So then let's take a look at May of 2013. They were in the borough of Houtsdale, which I have been, but I cannot pronounce that name. So Houtzzdale. I believe it's Houtsdale. Houtsdale?
Oh, Houtsdale, okay.
So as of the 2020 census, there were 764 people living here, and it's right off of State Road 153. So this observer was putting out salt blocks in their hunting spots. This is a big hunting area. There are a lot of people who go up here for deer hunting, turkey hunting, all kinds of hunting. Lots of hunting cabins.
A lot of guns and maybe too much beer.
Yeah, there's a lot of that up here.
So people hunt there.
Yes. And so this person said that they saw 2 creatures, and they saw them, and their wife and child were with them, but they were behind them and coming up over the hill. So they didn't actually see them, but the husband/father did. So one of these creatures was out in the open, and the other one they did not see until it moved towards the tree line. The observer was about 25 yards away, and the first creature was about 8 feet tall. It was walking upright, and it had a sloping forehead. Hands were about the same level as its knees. It looks like they said it was about 600 pounds. I don't know how you guess that. Like, I couldn't guess something like that. I'd just be able to say it was big.
Yeah, 600 pounds might be small, considering some Bigfoots they estimated 800 to 1,000.
It might be.
But again, how do you really know? Can you get on this scale, please, Mr. Bigfoot?
Please, can we put one out here for you? I can't even get my dog to stay on the scale. Imagine Bigfoot. So it was all black, and it had no hair on its hands or its face, which pinned that, and its knuckles faced forward, not to the side, like a man's walk. And it had broad shoulders that were approximately 3 feet across.
It's a big boy.
big fellow. And if you think back to the ATV rider that we talked about a couple of weeks ago, it sounds an awful lot like the same description. Like the black face, the hairless face, the knuckles that turned outwards. So same type of creature in the same general area.
Okay, so I got to ask this because these are big creatures. I wonder if they have their own Olympics. Tourist throwing, car throwing.
That's why there's so many vocalizations. They're all doing like a human calling contest. Like at the Bigfoot festivals, they do Bigfoot calling contests. Well, they're doing human calling.
Yeah, I mean, I know. That probably would be something they would like to do if they knew about it.
Probably. Well, they might be doing it because who knows what they're saying about us. When they're hanging out with their beer and their guns, who knows what they're saying about us.
Wonder how far I can throw that guy.
Yeah. You probably get some really good height on that person.
And of course, there are missing people in the forest, so who knows where they ended up.
That's why they're always found in trees.
Yeah.
That's why they're always found higher than where they were supposed to be.
They found him in Ohio. That was a good throw.
So this next one is from the Pennsylvania Bigfoot Society.
Okay.
And this one took place on July 4th of 2008.
Wow.
4th of July. So when I saw the date, I was like, oh, okay, so what might have been going on the 4th of July that all of a sudden you saw a Bigfoot?
Beer Fest.
Beer Fest. Well, what he actually said he saw was this man was walking to his friend's house and he encountered the worst smell of his life. And then, coming out of the fog, he saw a 7-foot-tall brown-haired creature.
Out of the fog.
Yes.
Okay, 7 foot tall.
Yes. On the 4th of July.
Patriotic guy, isn't he?
He's probably wearing an Uncle Sam hat.
Okay,
Just want to see some fireworks.
So, then he reported it to the...
Reported it to the PBS, yes.
So he at least had enough wherewithal that he wanted to report it.
Yes, it was not reported to the BFRO, which technically, if it was reported to the BFRO, we could say that this was probably a Class A because somebody saw something.
Yeah.
But we don't actually know what it was or how well of a description he got of it.
Okay, true. You never know when people start talking. A lot of people can't really articulate what they see. It's difficult to some point.
Yeah.
But so this we think is a legitimate sighting.
We think so, but again, I'm just gonna pin that 4th of July thing, and I'm just gonna say there's no detail on this one. I don't know what time of day it was, if there was fog. Let's just put an asterisk by this one. Let's say that yes, it is a legitimate sighting, but then let's put an asterisk by that.
Okay. I mean, I'm going to believe the guy. I believe you.
I believe you. I believe you saw something. I don't know what you saw, but I believe you saw something.
He believes. He believes
in you.
Yeah.
All right. So that's a little bit about Clearfield County. And again, there are more stories out there if you want to look them up. These are just pulled off of the 2 most legitimate sites because these are the ones that the experts are collecting data on. And I would actually encourage you, if you are watching this video and you have a story from anywhere in the state, report it to these 2 organizations so that it's documented, so that everybody can see what's going on out there.
Yeah, there's no judgment here. These folks, that's the business they're in. They do this. Many of them are volunteers, I believe, and they do this because they want to document and want to get to the bottom of the truth here. So please, report the thing if you saw it.
Yeah, put it out there for us. So let's talk about Elk County now. Let's talk first about the sightings that are out here. And the BFRO has only 2 Class B sightings. Now remember, a Class B sighting is not an actual visual on the creature. It is vocalizations, it is noises, smells, something like that. So it was probably something, but we didn't actually get eyes on it.
Right.
And we're going to talk a bit more about this area because the area that this sighting occurred was about 3 miles east of Benazet, which we are going to put a nice little map. That is the driving directions from Canonsburg up to Benazet. So you guys can see it's about 2.5 hours, almost 3 hours up to Benazet. So
Quite a drive.
It is. So let's talk. The observer was in a hunting cabin with their family. They were outside with their brother around a small campfire. It was about 10 p.m. at night. The sound was about 30 yards away and it was screaming loudly plus breaking branches. The brother and the observer had spent a lot of time outside over their years and they had never heard a sound like this. It went on for about 30 seconds. Father came out. Father also heard the sound. Father hadn't heard anything like this. So this story is a good one because the people that are out in these woods that make these reports, they are people who have spent a lot of time in these woods. Like, these are not, like, you're going to get some campgrounds where people are going and hanging out, but, like, the hunters and the fishers and the outdoorsmen who are out here, these are serious, experienced outdoorsmen who would know what the forest sounds like, who have seen what the forest is like. So these are not, if these guys say that this is something they have never heard before, that's a big deal.
There's a lot of truth to that. I mean, I have gone hunting in the past, and you do. And I wasn't a professional hunter. I didn't do it a lot. But when I went, it was in a very, very rural area. And you do learn the sounds and sights of the forest. You know what animals are there. And these guys, a lot of them do this every year for a week, 2 weeks, maybe 3 or 4 times a year. Who knows?
Every weekend. And so I respect that. And I know a lot of people look at them as saying maybe they're just seeing the bear. You know, they'll know a bear. Believe me. Yeah.
Bears are around and people do see them. Heck, they walk into town quite a bit.
They're going to know an owl. They're going to know a bear. They're going to know a wildcat, a coyote. Yeah, they're going to know those types of things. So let's talk about Benazet for a second, because I've been to Benazet.
Oh, okay. So, an eyewitness here, folks.
Yeah, I've been to Benazet, folks. So
she's living large.
Yeah, I've been there a couple of times, actually, maybe 3 or 4 times when I've been up there. And it's one of those towns that in this area, if you mention Benazet, people go, "Oh, you've been to Benazet?" I talked to some people one time that they said, "Oh, we've got a camp up in Clearfield County," and I said, "Oh, well, my sister lives here," and they said, "Oh, okay, well, our camp's in Benazet," and I said, "Oh, yeah, I know Benazet very well." So,
okay, so what's Benazet like?
So, Benazet is kind of exactly what you would think in Elk County. It's got a population of 214 people.
So you can pretty much know everybody's name by the end of the day.
Absolutely everybody's name. And I am currently, if I can get in line with the camera here, I am wearing my Benazet Hotel long sleeve shirt. And we will put a picture in the video that shows the back of it. This is my Squatching Cancer shirt. They did a very good series of long sleeve shirts a few years ago. They do one every year that's kind of got it's got a deer that says "Save the Rack" on it or something like that, and some really cute breast cancer awareness shirts. So they've got one now that I sent an email to the Benazet Hotel to find out if I could buy it. It says "Drink till you believe," and it's got a picture of Bigfoot holding a pint glass. So I mentioned this to my sister, and she said, yeah, they know that they've got a lot of Bigfoot sightings up there, so they capitalize on it with these shirts. So if you're on Facebook, go on Facebook, find the Benazet Hotel's Facebook page, like their page. They've got a really great store. I don't think they're accepting online orders right now, but when they are, you can order their shirts and have them shipped directly.
There's a nice shirt here, the one we have here, and
yeah, I love these shirts. They're my favorites.
Between all the shirts that Sue has, you never know what she's going to be wearing next to these videos.
No. So Benazet also includes the Elk State Forest, which is 200,000 acres. Whoa. So this should tell you just what a rural area Benazet is. Benazet is
mostly
elks
forest,
and trees, and this Benazet Hotel. There's also a winery and I believe a distillery.
Of course there is.
It is the wine's actually pretty good. They actually make some pretty good wine. I don't know if they ship, but they make a pretty good wine.
Hey, if you want a vacation, you have some plans to make, Benezet's the place to go.
So actually, if you look at the Benezet Hotel, which we can put the link into the comments, they have rooms in the hotel. They have cabins for rent. So if you want a nice little weekend off the grid, because there is no cell service up there. At least the few times I've been up there, there is no cell service up there. So if you just want to get away for a little bit and see some elk, maybe, do some hiking, some fishing, maybe hang out with Bigfoot for a little bit, Benezet's your place.
It sounds like the perfect place for a murder mystery.
Yeah.
Because you're not calling anybody.
No.
You're not calling anybody.
It is a very pretty area. I've only been out there in the summer, but I imagine in the fall it's gorgeous.
I'm sure.
With the leaves and, nice little place to get away from it for a bit.
But you don't go when it's snake season or poison ivy season.
Oh, no, I've been out there at snake and poison ivy season. Yeah, there's just none around the hotel.
Oh, she doesn't stray from the hotel.
Oh, no, I don't go out on the hiking trails where I might encounter a snake. Or
so if we were going to go on our hiking trail to look for Bigfoot, you would have to be what?
I would have to be like fully, even on a 90-degree day, I would have to be long sleeves, long pants, hiking boots, fully covered to avoid the poison ivy, and I would have to have somebody in front of me to warn me if the snakes are anywhere in the vicinity of us.
Now, between Sue and Ashley, we may never get to the woods. Okay? Just to let you know, between Sue and Ashley, we've got zero shot. Because once we get to the edge of the woods, it'd just be me going in. They'll be out there roasting marshmallows and, well, they can't be on your phones because there's no cell service.
There's no cell service, but we'll build the campfire. We'll have the campfire ready when you get back.
Nights around the fire, folks. And by the way, I'm going to pitch this. Okay, if you enjoy our content, you enjoy Sue's T-shirts and all the things that she talks about, and Ashley, and me, please consider subscribing to our channel. We're at 69 subscribers right now.
One more to hit 70.
We're trying to hit 70 within the next week. If you are new to this channel, please subscribe. And while you're at it,
squash that like button.
And share the video with as many of your friends as you can. This channel's up and coming. We got some great programming coming.
Really do.
And we are doing it for you. So remember, like, subscribe, and share. Okay.
Okay. So we're going to go back in time with our Bigfoot sightings in Benezet, but we are only going back to 2018. So not that far. Not that long ago. So there was a man camping with his family and his friends and spotted a dark figure about 200 yards away near the woods. This is from the PBS, by the way. They shined a spotlight and observed red eye from the figure who was turning and looked back at them for a few minutes. And after another man came running and yelling loudly, waving their arms, they looked again and the figure was gone.
Now, the guy was running and waving his hands because of the Bigfoot?
That is what I draw from the story. I don't really know. But what I thought was interesting was the red eye shine, because I have heard a lot about red eye shine.
Okay, let's hear
from
about
these from Bigfoot. If you shine a flashlight into the woods and you hit like a raccoon, their eyes most likely are not going to be red.
Right.
But Bigfoot, there are a lot of stories where people talk about them having red eye shine, like glowing red eyes, like that they will see glowing red eyes before they actually see the creature. So that's one way that they notice that there's something out there, is because there will be these glowing red eyes like 12 feet off the ground.
Okay, so that's, but I've also heard there are other color of eyes for Bigfoot as well.
Green? Have you heard green too?
I heard green and yellow.
Yeah. So the yellow doesn't really surprise me because that's a typical animal colored, but the red eye is what gets me.
These are interesting facts because, again, nobody knows a lot about this, but for those of you that might say, oh, I'm not sure about believing in Bigfoot, the very fact that when you look into an animal's eyes at night, you'll get eye shine, but it's usually from the light, or you don't get anything at all. But when you're getting colors, that's a whole nother story.
Yeah, the red doesn't make any sense because that's not natural.
No. Now, we don't believe that he's a ethereal spirit, right? We don't believe he's a ghost. that's come up in the past. We don't believe he's an alien.
Right.
You know, we go down the list of, because a lot of people have their own theories. And if you have a theory, don't hesitate to put it in the comment section or email it to us at strangeworlds777@yahoo.com. We want to hear from you, what you think.
We didn't get any emails this week. Come on, guys.
We want to hear from you.
But, like, I believe that Bigfoot is some sort of actual living, breathing creature that is out there in this world. And these red eye stories make me wonder, one, is it not? Is it not some sort of living, breathing creature? Or two, what kind of animal? Do we know of any other animal out there that has glowing red eyes?
No, none that we've looked at this. And I can't think of, being in the woods at night, I've never seen anything looking back at me that had red or yellow eyes or green eyes.
No. And I mean, we both have pets, so their eyes never glow red.
No. You might say, is it the angle? But no, it's a consistent thing.
Yeah.
You know, it's not just an accident.
And the other thing that gets me is these stories, again, where they just come out of the dark and they say that they just see these glowing red eyes, like standing so many feet off of the ground, an unnatural amount off of the ground.
Yeah, again, there's mysteries to this, to these sightings that we're trying to find answers to, and I think everybody else is. So if you have seen a Bigfoot or believe you have, contact those professionals. We'll put who they are in our description box, because the more information they have, the more they can maybe start finding patterns, getting a little more knowledge of it, because so many people really don't believe they exist. And we believe they do.
We believe they do. And I'm going to toss this out there. The Bigfoot Society podcast, again, has some really great stories on this topic. They have some great stories from the Elk State Forest. And I didn't include those because those are stories that were told to that podcast and not to us. So I would rather tell our listener stories as opposed to somebody else's listener stories. But they are out there. You guys can find them very quickly on YouTube, and they are very impressive. There's, some stories about some vocalization. There was one story that I was listening to today where a camper that was out there got hit by a rock, and they said that they could see the Bigfoot circling them, and they spent one night out there and then immediately got out of there.
So I can tell you that my neighbor Fred, and I believe you might have met Fred, he's an older gentleman. He does reenactments, Civil War reenactments, and they go out to certain battlefields, usually in the middle of nowhere, and they reenact. And they had their tents pitched, and they stayed there. And sure enough, one night, large rocks were raining down on them, large rocks. And they went out and they looked, and I mean, it wasn't the type of rock you could easily throw, because they were big rocks. I mean, you can maybe throw pebbles or medium-sized rocks a distance, but these were pretty good-sized rocks. I'm not sure, any other animal is going to be able to throw an 8 or 9 pound rock from a distance where they couldn't see where they were coming from.
Right. That's clearly a Bigfoot sign, is the rock throwing. Yeah. And when they're that big, I don't know any other animal, period, that throws rocks.
Deer don't. I can tell you that deer don't throw rocks.
Well, because you would have to have the hand and the grasping motion and everything. So the only animal I could think of that might...
It's a raccoon.
Raccoon,
but
yes.
They're little guys. I mean, they're looking, how can we throw this rock? They're saying, because they were part of the Bigfoot Olympics. And of course, they had their contingent. They go, we lost the rock throwing contest every single time.
They were using us as rocks by the end of it.
Yeah, well, they rather use humans head first. Yeah.
But raccoons are just cute little guys. So if they got their paw around a rock, it would just be a little bitty
pebble.
rock.
Yeah.
It's not going to be they're not going to throw boulders.
Now maybe they joined together and just barraged these Civil War reenactors.
I was going to say there's another clear answer to this.
Yes.
It was the ghosts
from
these Civil War battles.
They're throwing rocks.
Throwing rocks.
They're going, wished I could pick it up. This keeps going through their hand.
See, the only answer in that situation is it was either Bigfoot or a ghost.
So
the supernatural is clearly the only answer here.
We're going to lean on Bigfoot.
Yeah.
These are stories that we've been told and we've heard firsthand. And again, if you have a story, please let us know. we'd like to tell it on our next Bigfoot show as well.
I would like to put together a listener story episode.
You sitting there.
Yeah, send us your stories. That includes Bigfoot, the paranormal, aliens, any type of paranormal story that you would like to tell, or unknown mystery that you would like to tell. Send us that in an email, and we will include it when we get around. When we get enough for an episode, we will do a listener stories episode.
Yeah, we appreciate that. Please hop onto your computer. Maybe some of you are watching on your phone, but I found a lot of people are using their big TVs now on YouTube.
Yes, they are.
So get your remote and go on and type us out a comment or an email and send it off. Sue picks them up. She's waiting. She's waiting for you. Okay, Sue.
Okay, so let's talk about our second case from the PBS for the Benezet area. And so if we go back to the map, map 2.
Map 2. We'll get it right, folks.
So we are looking up, if you look up around the Benezet section of the map, those two little yellow flags are the two stories that we are talking about tonight. So this is the second one. It's from October of 2021. So that tells you just how recent we are getting. Back in October, my fiance and roughly 20 other bystanders saw what we believe is a Sasquatch at a popular lookout in Elk County. Curious if there are any witness accounts in that general area near the elk herd. So, this is not what this comment means, but let's bring this up. So, do we think that Bigfoot hangs out in this area because it's so rural, which is probably a given, but do we also think he hangs out there because of the elk? Because maybe he can follow the elk around and find food, or maybe Bigfoot eat elk, or because we've talked about them following coyotes around.
Yeah, and I guess it's all over the board what people believe Bigfoot eats. They say they find deer and they tear them apart and eat them. Of course, Wendigos do that too.
We'll talk about the Wendigo.
Yeah,
we're going to do the Wendigo justice. So
yeah, but what do they eat? I mean, I'll be honest with you. An animal that big has to eat protein.
Yes.
So we're assuming, big word, assume, that they eat some kind of animal they find or they hunt in the woods.
I cannot imagine them living off of berries and leaves and stuff.
Be a lot of berries.
Doesn't seem. But then again, I have also heard stories, and the Bigfoot researcher who used to come down to the library, he would talk about them taking food out of garbage cans, or I've heard of people leaving food out for them. Like, I've heard some stories about them, like, stealing, like, baked goods off of windowsills, like Yogi Bear.
Yeah,
or
it's a nice apple pie.
Yeah, or, like, people leaving jars of peanut butter out for them, and they'll take it, jar and all. So, I don't know. Maybe they are reliant on humans to a point, not necessarily that humans are feeding them, but maybe they are, rummaging through our trash or taking things from...
But not in Clearfield County or Elk County. There isn't enough people to feed. I mean, they're so rural, right?
Unless they're hitting up campsites. Like, unless they're waiting until people go to sleep and they're hanging up. Then they have to hunt deer.
Yeah, again, this is the thing. We know they need water.
Yes. Which we have a lot of stories about them being around water.
And we know they need some kind of food, and we're going to assume it's some kind of protein, because if they're vegetarians, I want to see that bill for vegetables on their bank account, because that'd be a lot to keep a 600, 700, 800-pound animal thriving.
So I did read one story in one of the Rusty Wilson books, which I have mentioned before, where Bigfoot had like a strawberry patch that they were kind of tending in the woods, like a wild strawberry patch that they were tending. But that's the only story I've heard of it. So I don't believe that these animals are overall intelligent. I shouldn't say animals. These beings are overall intelligent enough to grow their own food, because I think if they were growing their own food, we would see evidence of it.
Right. I mean, I think, again, speculation is part of the game here. But if you want to be a person that uses some common sense, we know most likely they might go after deer that found dead, hit, killed, shot by a hunter, steal their basically their trophy. Who knows what they do, because they need to eat, and they need to eat a lot. I'm thinking that they would need to eat a lot. So again, if you have your opinion, let us know.
Yeah, we're open to anything, and we're just two podcasters BSing about theories here. We're not committed to anything.
Remember, we're Canonsburg's #1 paranormal podcast. We don't have that title for no good reason.
Yeah. So what do you think? What do you think about the squatchiness of these two areas?
I think there's definitely Bigfoot there. I mean, it makes common sense. I mean, if you've seen one, if one of those sightings was 100%, bam, that's a Bigfoot, then there's more than one.
I agree. And, from reading about these particular sightings and from listening to the listener stories on some of these other podcasts, yeah, I think there's something out here. I think this is one of the squatchiest areas in the whole state.
Right. And, when you double down and you just think about the whole nation, the number of sightings, you sort through them. And even if you say, no, you got to say that a good large number of those are real sightings.
Yeah. And we're going to get down into the West Virginia mountains here in the next few months and really talk about, we're going across the state, working through the state, and then we'll go down into the mountains of West Virginia and get into some of the sightings down there.
Because it's almost heaven there. And been to West Virginia a lot, been through the state a lot, been on some back roads that I wished I wasn't on. But definitely there's a lot there. It's a very rugged state. A lot of water, a lot of mountains, a lot of trees.
And the West Virginia Bigfoot Festival is coming up in the fall, and I will hopefully be there. So
that's it.
So I don't know the exact location. It is closer to the New River Gorge this time. It used to be in Sutton, West Virginia.
Yeah, they moved it.
Yeah, they did move it. And so I'm looking forward to it, hoping to get out there again this year for the weekend.
Yeah, folks, if you're going to a festival, let us know that too, where you go. If you're across the nation, let us know what festivals are around you. We know that this is a big event, and we know that more than one state, and I'm sure they have them up in Oregon and Washington.
Yeah, and especially if you're here in Pennsylvania and you are hitting up the Forest County Bigfoot Festival, let us know about that, because I don't think I'm going to be able to get out there for that one this year. So I've not been to that one, so let us know for sure. If you've been out there, send us some videos, send us some stories. We want to hear those. Everybody has their little festivals. We'd love to have one here. We would. But we just don't have enough sightings of Bigfoot to make it worth our while, I don't think. I'm just going to keep focusing on my Krampus run. Right, that's right. Hey, if you didn't see that video, folks, go to our library of videos on the Nights Around the Fire channel. Plenty of videos, enough things to keep you busy for a while. A rainy weekend, go down there. We have Krampus. We got we have AI, the dangers of AI. We have missing 411. We have Bigfoot, ghosts, UFOs. We got it all, and we're doing more for you. So check out our channel, and if you enjoy the content, and we know you do, please consider subscribing to our channel. Squash the like button. And share the video with your friends and your neighbors. We know that people enjoy paranormal discussions, nights around the fire. As of right now, we have a 100% success rate of not having any of our subscribers taken by Krampus. Right. So you're okay if you join here. Krampus, if he knows about it, you're safe. He looks the other way. He looks the other way. Now, if you know somebody who disrespects the channel, that might be another story. Krampus is going to probably take care of that one. Well, I hope you've enjoyed this edition of Nights Around the Fire. Thank you, Sue. We have some things coming up, and I think Ashley and Sue are going to be doing the McCaney House. McCaney Manor, yes, McCaney Manor. That's a group effort. Well, really the girls. And I believe that's going to be a good one because there's a lot of crazy things that go on at McCaney Manor. Oh, my gosh, yes. If you haven't heard about it, you can Google it as well and be ready for the episode. Beyond that, we have a lot of more ghost videos coming up. We got to really hit the UFO trail as well. We're gonna talk about Kecksburg, and when we get into our Greene County series that we've got coming up in a couple of months, we are going to talk about some of the Greene County UFO experiences.
There's a lot, yes. So we might have to break that down into a number of videos because there's a lot to talk about in Greene County.
You're going to want to stick around because we're going to do next month for St. Patrick's Day. We are going to do a nice little series on some Irish ghosts and legends. And then in April, I bet we're going to get into our Greene County stuff.
Right. And again, we're going to be heading out when that fine line between
snakes and poison ivy.
Right.
And we've got Ken coming back, and Ken also has some stories about Greene County. So hopefully we're going to get out live in Greene County and do some actual investigations down there. So
stay tuned.
Stuff.
Well, we got it all here, and I thank you again for watching tonight. Check out the next upcoming event that we're going to post, and if you really want to do that, you can hit that bell icon. Once you hit that, you'll be notified that we've released a new video. That way you won't miss anything, and you won't have to backtrack and go back to the library and watch them all because you missed some. You can be right on top of it.
Yep.
Anything else, Sue?
No, I think that's it for Clearfield and Elk counties.
Well, if you're out that way, we're going to say hi to you. And if you want to go there and find a Bigfoot, let us know. Beyond all that, thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time right here on Nights Around the Fire. We're Canonsburg's #1 paranormal podcast.
Thanks, guys.